welcome to another episode of the Doomloop Dispatch, the news show that covers the worst parts of the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm your host, Kevin L. Jones, and with me whenever possible,
D. Scott Miller.
Hey, so we're coming back. I needed a break. I needed a vacation after all the crap that's been going on to me. So thank you for your patience and understanding with this going back. But I came back to the chaos still going. So much crazy crap going on. And we're going to get into all of it. First, we definitely need to talk about what's going on in Oakland. We have the mayoral race ramping up. And it's Barbara Lee, the speaker for the people, the former congresswoman, the only congresswoman to vote against the Iraq war. She truly, there's a reason that her motto is Barbara Lee speaks for me. And who is she up against? Loren Taylor, a man who apparently has no shame in who he associates with. No problem at all. And we're bringing this up because they recently had a debate that KTVU hosted, my former employer, and it was sponsored by this little group called the Black Action Alliance that like a serious scratch of the surface, and it comes out there's no black people behind the Black Action Alliance. It is paid for by Philip Dreyfus, the man who has brought us all those wonderful recalls that we hate so much. He's funding basically the biggest right-wing backlash against whatever happens in Oakland, and it was also fostered by a lawyer in San Rafael. It's supposed to be an Oakland organization, and yet its home address is in San Rafael, which says a lot, if anyone knows anything about Marin County. But it's this insane, especially too, they must be worried because they're really going on the attack with Barbara Lee. They're out coming now saying she should just drop out. They're not even really pushing Loren because I don't think he's got much of a campaign.
That was a tactic they used for Shane Dow, though, too. So you can't really get too excited about that because they did start saying Shane should resign and save them the trouble, right?
Yeah.
And so basically, that's just one of their tactics. But I think the thing that's really most interesting about what happened with this Black Action Alliance, it was that the minute that they dropped, everyone started asking, who are these people? Right. It was immediate over in Oakland. We know our organizations. We know our Black women, the professional organization BOPA. We're aware of them. We know about ATPT, the Anti-Police Terrorism Project. We know about them. You know what I mean? They're in the community, and whether you agree with them or disagree with them, they're an organization that exists. These guys just popped up out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I'm talking about when they finally did the research, the organization only been 6 weeks old.
Yep.
And I was one of the first people who went to their Twitter page, and I saw 6 followers. And the 6 followers are all members of the recall campaign. Every last one of them. But I think it was primarily formed by Senator Scot. And we'll get back to that in a minute. But the thing is that they claim to have endorsements from other Black organizations that they did not have. So BOPA actually said, we are not affiliated with these people. We don't know who these people are. And then the next thing you know, on the Twitter page, a guy pops up. I wish I could remember his name, but it's probably best that we don't say his name. Mm-hmm. Only because he was just there to be the Black guy, to be like, hey, I'm the Black guy. And we are an organization, and we've been around for a long time. And we are members of the NAACP, and we are members of the 100 Black Men Group, which people know. People are aware of the 100 Black Man Group and the 100 Black Women Group. They are established organizations that Loren Taylor just so happens to sit on board of. He sits on the board of the NAACP, and he sits on the board of the 100 Black Men. Right. So he could claim those, but he thought he could also claim BOPA. And these Black women were like, no, absolutely not. No, we don't know who you are. And then what's so crazy is during the actual debate, which, by the way, we have to point out that KTVU is a Fox affiliate. They are not a news organization anymore.
And actually, not to be rude, not a Fox affiliate, Fox owned.
Fox
they used to
owned.
be Fox News affiliated,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is when I worked there. But after the Something Wong incident,
Yep.
it became Fox owned.
And you guys should check out our episode on that, the Something Wong, because we do dig into the way that KTVU transformed into the monster it is today.
Yes.
But the thing is just like when we like what Barbara Lee did was the same thing that Biden did, but she did it right. Like that's the best way to describe it. Like, you know, like the whole thing with Biden and the CNN thing, he knew he was going into the den. He knew he was going into a nest of vipers. He knew he was going in there, but he thought he could handle it, and he couldn't. Like that's essentially what happened. Barbara Lee did the exact opposite. She went to the nest of vipers. She was exactly prepared for everything they were going to say, everything they were going to do, and she handled herself like very, very well. She totally handed Taylor his ass, like just all the way through. But the thing that was most important to me during the course of that debate, which I watched, was when the guy whose name I refuse to mention, he says, we also have the support of BOPA. And there is an audible ripple of laughter through the crowd. Like you can hear it. You can actually hear people going, ha ha, yeah, okay, sure, buddy. Like
that's so great.
Yeah, that really happened. That really happened. Like nobody believed him when he said that because it's a community. And so he was like, I think that one of the problems that Taylor is having right now is that he has to talk to the people in the hills. Of course, everybody has to talk to the people in the hills, but he also has to talk to the people in the flats.
Yep.
But the issue is that when you start talking to the people in the hills, you alienate the people in the flats.
Yep.
Like that is essentially what Taylor's major problem is. He's losing Black support, right? If Barbara Lee were to win, and I looked this up because I wasn't 100% sure, but Barbara Lee would be the first Black woman mayor of Oakland, California. A long time coming. I mean, like,
yeah.
you know,
like it needs to happen.
Like Elaine Brown was the last possibility, and that was a long time ago, right? So the thing is like if Oakland is a diverse city, and we are, that we always have to reflect that diversity. And so what Loren Taylor should have been doing from the very start was leaning into that.
Yeah.
Right. But he instead of trying to represent like, you know, the entirety of the community, including himself. Right. Loren Taylor is campaigning for people not like him.
Exactly.
You know, and so that's the issue that they ran into. They expected to get BOPA. Like Loren Taylor's a Black man. They expected to get it. And maybe if Barbara Lee hadn't decided to run, he would have gotten it. Right. Like the real issue is like if Barbara Lee's running, like, right, you're not going to get most of these organizations. And you're definitely, as long as you affiliate yourself with, say, Seneca Scott, you're definitely not getting the LGBTQ community at all. Like you're done there. Yep. Right. So basically, like he has to now start fabricating affiliations with these marginalized groups. And if you have to fabricate affiliation with marginalized groups, it means you don't have those marginalized groups. So who is actually backing you? Who is actually supporting you? Who's doing that? If you're not able to get the attention of the people in the community who've established themselves in the community, my question is okay, who's paying you? Yeah. Where's your money? Where's your money coming from? If you're not getting backed by the unions, and you're not, who's paying you?
Probably Philip Dreyfus.
Probably the
same people paying for Sam Singer's work.
Exactly. You know, so go ahead.
And who's ever behind Empower Oakland, you know?
Well, we know who's behind Empower Oakland. It's mostly it's Coinbase.
Yep.
They are the ones who funded the flyer for Empower Oakland during the last election in November. We also know that it's Gagan Biani. Mm-hmm. Because Gagan actually sits on the board. He also is a tech bro with affiliations to Gary Tan.
Yep.
So we know, I mean, these are things that they don't hide. Like this is what I love about these arrogant little. This is what I love about these guys because like just like with Christopher Rufo will say what he's going to do.
Yes. It's always so funny.
Yeah, Trump will say what he's going to do, and you have to be like, okay, well, like, does he mean it? Assume yes.
Yeah. Oh no, my favorite thing about Rafo is how he'll totally be like, well, what I'm saying actually doesn't matter because it's about this one thing. Like he'll like totally give away his strategy.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How do people not see this?
Are you falling for this? I don't know. How are you falling for this?
Totally.
He said he did. He said he's going to do it, and now they're doing it. Like, what's the disconnect here, right?
Yes.
And so these guys have been very open about their affiliations. They've been very open about the Coinbase affiliation. They've been very open about the Gary Tan affiliation. They've been very open about the Elon Musk affiliation.
They're very open about their associations with landlords. A lot of the people that are helping them are people like Chris Moore. And I forgot there's a Berkeley landlord. I'm forgetting his name, maybe like Lau, but they're both
that
like,
guy. Yeah.
He's I think it's from Berkeley, but he's a landlord. So that's why he's involved. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like Taylor himself also like is affiliated. This is something I just recently learned. Like Taylor's affiliated with the tech industry. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like his wife is in tech, and like most of his businesses and all that are actually like rooted in tech money. I had no idea. And so like the thing is that he actually is a part of tech fascism. He's a part of the network state.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings about the question, but it's multivalent, right? Because the other thing is, why do you need black people? Why, like the whole organization, this whole Black Action Alliance, that thing was built to fool black people.
Yes.
Right? Like why? Like you're simultaneously trying to erase us from history on the federal level, and yet you desperately need to trick us.
Yes.
In Oakland, right? Like it's just it's the craziest thing in the world to me.
Or how much it though too do you think is just appearances? How much of it do you think is actually like, because if they just came out like, we're the white party, come on, Oakland, come on, you want to support us? How much do they need to put up an appearance of like, oh yeah, we got black support too?
Well, no, I think it's greater than that. I think I think that what they need to do is they need to show that they have majority black support. Yeah, I don't think it's just about having black people. Like to them, black people are symbolic of a certain kind of majority that they feel that they need to capture, right? And so, like when the recalls were going on, well, post recall, Seneca Scott, the recall organizer, and I put that in quotation marks, organizer. He spent a lot of time trying to show how people in the flats voted also for the recalls. It was very important to him and to the campaign that it seemed like majority black people voted for this.
Yes.
Right. And so the same thing, they're trying to do the same thing now. They're trying to build an illusion of a larger group of black people. And this is the thing that really drives me crazy. Because what we're dealing with right-wing conceptions of what black people are. We're not really dealing with black people. We're dealing with what they believe black people are, right? So, and this is kind of off topic, but still on topic.
Yes.
When Trump said, "I'm going to cut general assistance, I'm going to cut I'm going to cut SNAP, right? I'm going to cut all of these services," and white America went, "Yay!" Mm-hmm. Right? Then they found out they were actually on those things. like they were majority on him. They were majority on them, right?
Yeah.
So they found out. But the thing is that what Trump sold was the idea that majority black people were on these programs. Majority black people were on SNAP. Majority black people were on social services. That's not the case. The people who live in red states, both black and white. But in all those states, majority white people actually get these services. And so basically it was what the white mind conceived that black people were that ended up hurting white people. Right?
Yeah.
So the same thing is happening here. The same thing, what they're trying to do is like they have an illusion in their mind about what constitutes black people in the black electorate. Right? What moves black people in the black electorate. Right. So, yes. Now we're talking about his campaign and in regards to that, in relation to it, a fake ad just came out that was saying that Cat Brooks and the Anti-Police Terrorism Project were sending out a thing saying reject Barbara Lee.
Oh, my God. They're going that far.
Yeah, it came out 3 days ago.
Oh
And
my God.
so what I
I
did,
saw the response, right?
right.
Yeah, they've sent out a response to this, but
No,
God dang.
I saw it drop in real time, and I immediately started doing some research. And guess who's behind it?
Empower Oakland?
Nope, Chris Moore and Seneca Scott.
Oh God.
Literally, and it was so
Tweedledee and Twiddledum.
yeah. It's crazy how they did it. Okay, so they send out the ad, and then Cat Brooks responds and says, "This is not us." And then they put out a fake account that was only followed by them. The only verified followers of this account was them.
God damn it.
But this is what I'm saying. Like they need the majority black response to this for whatever reason. Maybe he's polling poorly in the black community, but they did that because they need black people, but they want to just use black people. They don't really want to try to address the issues of the black community in Oakland, which are
Yes.
various and vast, right? But they don't want to do that. They want to just trick black people into going along with them. Right. And to me, the most sinister part of that is that means your actual intent is to harm black people.
Yes.
I mean, that actually is your intent. If you have to trick me into supporting you, that means you intend to do something to me once you get the power.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And that's
So
it. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. They only see black people as a demo to use.
Right.
I mean, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the thing is like that's Loren Taylor now too.
Yeah.
That is Seneca Scott and has been for a long time. I mean, I guess lack of self-awareness is something that's the asset over on that side. But it's actually a shame to see Taylor like give up on that one individual dignified position of I will not be used this way. Right? Like there's nothing sadder than seeing a Candace Owens in my mind. There's nothing more tragic than that. You've decided that you're going to go and caper to white supremacy. And this is even worse because you're not only capering to white supremacy, you're capering to a white supremacist white ethno state known as a network state. Yes. That's what you're doing. Right. So it's not just about taking over Oakland, it's about taking over the whole country, if not the world, and then turning it into a white ethno state. And I don't know if there's any amount of money that will make me do that. I'm sorry. I don't think there's any amount of money to make me do it.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, especially too. Hey, guess what, Loren? You're not going to be a gray. They're not going to let you in the club.
They're not letting you in the club. I don't know how many times I've said that on this podcast. Like, dude, they not like us. Stop.
Yeah.
They're not like us.
And the thing is too, is like when you were talking about how, kind of off topic about Trump and, how he was basically saying, I'm going to cut Snap and stuff. And white people didn't realize like, oh, that was me, actually. You meant me, because like, who was the original bad guy for welfare? Who the welfare queen? Linda Taylor. Yeah. Who, I mean, literally one person, but one clearly black woman. And the worst part was, like, if you looked into her background, like her getting welfare like that, being a welfare cheat, was like the least bad thing she did. They didn't point out that other stuff. But but it's like one of those things where it's like, again, they're only focused on their goals and they don't care who they exploit. And clearly they don't care what they have to say if they have to make up ads and lie. I mean, that's what's so disturbing. Yeah. But yeah, I highly recommend our listeners check out Omar Yassin's reporting on the debate between Lee and Taylor.
Great job, Oakland Observer. Great job in the Oakland Observer.
Exactly, because a big part of it was what KGU pushed was different than what Omar saw. And that is a really important distinction that people should know about. Again, this is why we have our show, the Doomloop Dispatch. The media is not giving you the truth. Legacy media is not giving you truth. If you listen to how KGU portrayed the debate and, if you hear it too, there's like big clapping for things that Taylor says. But then if you listen to Omar talk about it, no, the only reason it sounds like it's a lot of clapping is because the small group supporting Taylor was closest to the microphones.
Yeah.
That's what you're hearing. He's saying like how they're portraying it is not what the reality was. And people need to recognize that. But
That's
also,
absolutely
too,
true.
Lee still got in some great points. That bit about how we pay our taxes, the
Yeah,
county
that's the
owns
one.
us.
That was
Yes.
that was a wop 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 wop. Like because I mean the thing is that I feel that even when Loren was trying to get to his most positive talking points, they were still negative.
Yes.
Right? Like we are a drain on California. We are a
That's such a
drain.
disgusting thing to say, too.
Well, I mean, I think that that is the Trumpian tactic. Like America is a garbage can. Like the man actually said that, right? And what you do is like you talk about like he
Yep.
doom looped Oakland, right? Just like Trump doom looped U.S. and Gary Tan is doom looping San Francisco. Right? It's a pretty regular playbook. But it seems to me that you need to have a larger apparatus, and he doesn't have it. Right? I mean, and I find that very interesting, right? Because Philip Dreyfus is behind Loren Taylor, and Philip Dreyfus was behind the recalls. Right. But the Chronicle is not able to keep a hold on the narrative like they did with the recalls. And the East Bay Times just today endorsed Barbara Lee. So that means they don't have a hold on EBT either.
Yep.
Right. So that means the money is not going as far as it did before.
Yeah.
And I think that as the money is starting to dry up, Loren Taylor is becoming more and more desperate. Right. Like he actually had a fake Oakland side ad. I mean, a fake Oakland side article in a commercial that he made.
Oh my God. I did not see that.
Oh no. This happened, I think on Thursday, where they came out, but and I hate to say it, but it's true. Seneca Scott came out with this commercial. And in the commercial is a fake Oakland side ad.
Oh man.
Like condemning Barbara Lee. And Oakland side had to come out and be like, no, we didn't do that. That's fake.
Wow.
Then people started noticing on Google a fake KQED article. Wow. Like that happened. That I think that happened also on Thursday. I think it also happened on Thursday. But it's a paid for ad, paid for by Loren Taylor to look like a KQED article. It looks just like a KQED article, and it's saying that Barbara Lee owes money for some kind of criminal corruption or some shit. But it's actually a fake KQED ad that and Loren Taylor came out today saying, well, I had nothing to do with either one of those fake ads. All right. But the KQED actually says paid for by Loren Taylor. It actually says it on it.
Please, somebody sue them. I mean, honestly, the East Bay Times and the KQED should come together and sue this campaign. Well, I mean, because that hurts them.
It hurts them greatly. I mean, Oakland side. I think they both should.
Oh yeah, Oakland side. Excuse me. Yeah,
because that's just utter misrepresentation, and they shouldn't be able to get away with it. But I think that what they're thinking is, well, if they sue us, they're not going to have the money to actually continue the legal, right? Yeah. That's what they're thinking. But shit, that doesn't matter. Take them to court anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Take them to court so we'll know where you guys stand. You know what I mean? Like whether you drop the suit or whether you lose, it doesn't matter. You have to let us know where you stand.
Yeah.
And I think that's really an important thing. I hope they do take action.
But that's the issue though too, and it's kind of one of the reasons why I got out of legacy media is also too you're seeing the loss of spines in the media. Right. You're seeing these newspapers and publications roll over. That happened to me. When I first started working for K-Pix, I did this story about a guy who basically was harassing somebody else shopping because the guy was wearing a mask. It was like, still COVID was still raging, and he was making fun of him, and he actually was like going to expose himself, and he got it on video. And then it turned out he was actually this well-known person in the LGBTQ community. So I wrote a whole story about it, and I had everything backed up. I sourced everything. I had links to everything I found out about this guy. And K-Pix, as soon as that guy came back with a legal threat, they rolled over like a passive dog, like just showed their belly. And that used to not happen. Right. That used to have newspapers ready for a fight, loving it, because they knew it was a moral thing. It was an ethical thing, especially You should stand by your journalist reporting.
That's true.
And you're not. You even see that now with that one law firm that just rolled over for Trump, you know. But yeah, even what ABC and everyone, like, they're all rolling over now, and it's so sad. Right. So hopefully Oakland side, hopefully KQED stands up and does something. They need to, because they shouldn't be used by this. But it's also, it goes to show how bad these tactics are, how evil they're getting. I mean, not only are you having these fake ads and being made, but you're having more and more harassment. I don't know if anyone's following the harassment of San Francisco supervisor Jackie Fielder, but literally they have a guy following her and harassing her who was a January 6th rioter. And he is now, and not only though, was he a writer who basically wears an ice jacket and is basically like harassing Fielder and anybody, you know, around her, but he's literally the leader of the San Francisco, or the chapter of the California Republican Assembly. Like, he's official. Daniel Goodwin, a 36-year-old web developer, now is basically terrorizing people. I mean, people, you know, I clearly don't have to be scared of ICE, but there's a lot of people that are. Yeah. And it's truly like a fear. It's not, it's a sick fear, because that if ICE is involved in your life, that means you're being separated from your family. You're being put out, you're being put into a dangerous situation, honestly, especially if you're like, if you've never lived in Mexico and they're just sending you there, you know, you might not even know Spanish, and you could be totally screwed, you know, but that is at the point that they're at, that they have no morals. They're just being mean as possible, which
I think that, like, you know, the funny thing is, to me anyways, why do you think that you're the only side that can do that? Yeah. I mean, like, that's the part that I'm finding more and more intriguing, right? Like this whole idea that like MAGAs are the alphas or whatever the fuck. I mean, like, where did you get that from? Yeah, like I don't even understand. So now you want to take it off of Twitter, you want to take it off of social media, you want to take it out into the streets. How well do you think you're going to fucking fare? I mean, like, for real, because like you spend most of your time on Twitter, and you're going after people who spend most of their time not on Twitter. How are you going to fare? I don't understand how this, like, we talked about this in the last one, this escalation. This escalation is actually going to be more harmful for them. Yeah. As evidenced by everything we've seen up until this point. Like, every time you leave the house, you get chased. Yeah. Right. Like, one of the memes that we use all the time is Seneca Scott being like, ah! Yeah. Right? Because you came out the house. You like that's fine on Twitter, but the minute you come out the house, you're running. The minute you come out the house, right? So I don't understand how the most enfeebled and the people who take less care of themselves than everybody else wants to attack people. I don't understand this. Yeah. Like my thing is, like, Omar Ward has to use a walker sometimes. I didn't know this. The man needs a walker from time to time. And my thing is, like, dude, you're too weak to fight. Yeah, totally. Like, you're too weak to fight. I mean, like, you're like, you know, it's just, why would you put yourself in a situation where you're actually coming after somebody who's maybe 10 to 15 years your junior, and like saying that you want to beat them up? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me.
I know. I kind of found it hilarious, because it was a very chicken shit of him. Yeah,
Jackie, here's an idea. Let me ask you a question. Does Jackie know someone bigger than that guy? Probably. Yeah, probably.
I know. And it's so funny too. Like, I was just telling the story today about the harassment I received. And when I was telling them, they're like, yeah, he posts video of outside of my house at night saying, come out and play. And every person I talked to was like, oh, well, that would be the last straw. Like, that for me, that's what I'm telling my buddies. Hey, we're going to go make a visit, you know, and I'm not going to do that. But, like, dude, you are stepping that line. Yeah, and you can't fight back.
You're not gonna like, unless you got a piece on you, man. Like, you know, things are not going to be good for you. But nobody even wants to talk that way. Yeah, right? Some of us exercise daily.
Yeah.
Right. Some of us have
do.
training.
Yeah.
Like some of us have these things.
Yeah.
Some of us have weapons. Like, do you really think that you're the only people that are doing these things? I think it's just a dangerous like precedent they're setting. It's very dangerous. And I'm really glad that, like, you know, there have been these negative outcomes for this kind of behavior. I think Loren Taylor is going through negative outcomes right now.
Yeah.
And I think that you deserve those negative outcomes. Right. I think that's, and let's be honest about it. Like, these recalls were not a net positive.
No.
They were not at all. Like, nobody won.
No.
Not even the people who got the recalls actually won. Right. So these are all net negative outcomes. And like, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because if it's all about money, maybe you're making some money, but the minute they're done with you, you're making no money. But we'll get to that. But I did want to point out, though, that there was another thing that was going on. I forget the organization over in San Francisco that was supposed to be about equity. It was a nonprofit that was supposed to be about equity. And they got busted for apparently, it's allegedly paying for one of their kids to go to college with nonprofit funds.
Yes, it was London Breed's friend. Yes.
And now I wanted to get to that because that's what's important.
Okay, all right.
London Breed's nepotism has allowed these people to use Black people, particularly Black women, as scapegoats for organizations they knew were crooked from the start.
Yeah.
Like SF Safe. The same thing happened at SF Safe. SF Safe was founded in 1978. It's a SFPD nonprofit. And they have been using it to buy cars, go on vacations, get condos and timeshares. Yeah, exactly. But SF Safe was even before. And we had yet another picture of yet another Black woman in an organization through the London Breed's nepotism, only to be the blackface for corruption that was there before they showed up.
Yep.
Right? So they create these Black scapegoats. Right. And London Breed just totally walked into it with her nepotism. Now, I know this to be true because when I worked for London Breed, her friends were my bosses. And her other friends were my other bosses. And her other friends were their bosses. I mean, but it was all her friends from dating back to when she was in college. Right.
Oh, God.
So she had a consistent nepotism problem. But the powers that be took advantage of it. And they made it so every time you now see a nonprofit face of corruption, it's a Black woman, right? And that's almost exactly the way that Black people are being used, or at least they're attempting to use Black people in Oakland right now, right? Now, some of these people are just like unaware actors, right? But some of these people are very conscious of what's going on. I still am not 100% certain on what camp that Taylor falls into. I'm not 100% certain. Like, you know, we have Seneca Scott. We know he's in that camp. We have Dwayne Tatum. We know he's in that camp. We Brenda Grisham. We know she's in that camp. Judge Harbin Fort, the Honorable Judge Harbin Fort. We know she's in that camp, right? Of people who are actually like fully aware that they're being used, fully aware that they're being used for one particular purpose, just one, right? And then there's other people like Loren Taylor or these people who are in charge of these nonprofits that end up being the Black face in the high place that catches all the heat, right? Which could be Loren Taylor, right? So, I mean, like, I think Loren Taylor should actually be more cognizant.
Yeah.
Like he needs a greater self-awareness. Like, why are you being used? Are they trying to set you up in a way that even Xing Dao's potential indictments? Yeah. But are they going to set you up something even deeper than that? You need to, like, maybe you should step back too. Maybe you should start thinking about how they're using you.
Yeah, because literally too, I mean, it's like he's so tone deaf to what he's saying, because he's criticizing Oakland for, you know, being too left and like leftist policies. Dude, you've been on the city council. This is your city. And it's not like you've been standing up against this stuff. This is you are culpable for the things you're criticizing.
But it even goes deeper than that, because the mismanagement of Libby Schaaf, like the only reason why he's even in conversation at all was due to one of the most mismanaging mayors this city has ever had.
A corrupt mayor, too.
Corrupt. The only way that he actually got into the position that he's in is through her corruption.
Yep.
Right. So, I mean, like, it's just like, dude, you need to chill. you need to figure it out, man. Maybe 2028, like, step back. You know what I mean? Like, step back, because you're not doing yourself or Black Oakland any favors whatsoever.
Yep, exactly. But hopefully we'll see some revenge, some comeuppance, like we're seeing now with our good friend, good buddy, good friends with Omar, Ricci Wynne, now busted for making child porn. It. I know. Sick bastard. I mean, because that's the thing. I remember, so when Ricci was first busted, Darcy Bell, our buddy on Twitter, and somebody who's been harassed and demonized unjustly, I feel so bad for Darcy Bell, but she's also such a warrior. I have to admire her for never backing down.
Never.
But she kept pointing out, and it wasn't clear to me that there's this video of Ricci harassing a teenage girl. She's crying and losing it.
It's horrific.
Exactly. And it's terrible. And he's like, "Oh, are you high?" And she's like, "No, I'm just having a hard time. And I'm like remembering the trauma you caused me." And is like actually clearly calling out. And she was like, that's it. He must have used her. Yep. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe. And clearly, we can see that that's probably the truth now.
Yeah. Well, he's in jail for it. So
yeah. Yes. But let's be clear, people. Ricci Wynne, we'll link to the wonderful posts that buddies of ours, such as Crooke Jenkins, has posted of all the wonderful people that wanted to be associated with Ricci before this. Daniel Lurie, Erica Sandberg, Tom Wolfe, all the
Susan Dyer Reynolds.
Yes, all these people that
Omar Ward is definitely in the mix.
Yes.
But, and here's the thing that drives me crazy. There's 1 degree of separation between all of them.
Yep.
Just 1 degree of separation. Either in 1 degree of separation, you're connected to a domestic terrorist, and that is what Omar Ward did.
Yes.
I do not care what anybody says. Like, okay, it's vandalism. Well, you know what vandalism is called when there's a political motive attached to it? It's called terrorism.
Yes.
That's what it's called. Vandalism with a political motive attached to it or ideological intent is called terrorism. That's what it's called. It's not like burning a Tesla, right? You can say, I'm burning this Tesla. Why are you burning the Tesla? I hate them.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
It doesn't necessarily mean I want people to vote Democratic, right? I want people to be against the Republicans. Like, no, I just hate him. I hate the guy, right? but there is a political and ideological intent, and that the definition of terrorism is the threat or the threat of violence or the use of violence for political or ideological intention. That is the definition of terrorism. You don't necessarily have to commit violence on a person to be a terrorist.
Yep.
You can just threaten violence on a person with ideological or political intention, and that makes you a terrorist. So I'm making it very clear that what Omar Ward did is, by dictionary definition, terrorism. Let's get that out of the way. So you're 1 degree away from either a terrorist or a pedophile predator. You're 1 degree away. The mayor of San Francisco is 1 degree away from that. Gary Tan is 1 degree away from that. Omar Ward is over there with Gary, and then you have Daniel Lurie, then you have Erica Sandberg, then you have Susan Dyer Reynolds. All of you guys, Tom Wolfe, Thomas Hawk, all of you guys, Seneca Scott, all of them are 1 degree away from either a domestic terrorist or a pedophile predator. 1 degree.
Yep.
And what's so crazy to me is that, like, the local media sphere is trying to act as if that connection doesn't exist, but it's only 1 degree. How are you not?
They're just like, no, I don't know. I'm not hearing this.
Blah, 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 blah. Like, no, it's 1 degree.
Yeah. Well, because too, they propped up these people.
Yep.
K-Pix, KTVU, the SF Standard. I mean, I think even the Atlantic did something about Omar. I mean,
Right.
they're all these publications were
Fox
told
News.
prop these people. Oh, but Fox News is a big one.
Yeah, they were
love
all
having
on
them
Fox. Well, my question is, who got them on Fox?
Great question.
Yeah, who got them on Fox?
Maybe Sam Singer.
Maybe Sam Singer.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but these are the questions that like I said before in the last one, I'm still doing my research, but my research is limited, right? Because I don't have my press pass anymore. I don't have access to databases that I used to have access to.
Yeah.
So it's harder. But I mean, my thing is that like, why should we be the only people doing this? Like this is the story. And we told you, and if you would only, and I'm talking directly to the Chronicle about this.
Yeah.
If you had covered the Omar Ward story, you wouldn't be playing catch up on the national story.
Yep.
This story is like Ricci's thing is national now. It's national. Like it's like I can't even open up my phone without seeing a picture of this guy right now.
Yeah.
Right. And now the Chronicle's playing catch up. Right. They're trying to they're being lapped by out of state journalism.
Yeah. Oh, well, what it is. They're playing catch up because they probably like, oh no, we finally have to do something, which happens a lot, which happens a ton in news media where they'll be like, no, that's not a big, oh, it's a big deal. Dang it. We got to get it.
Well, no, the truth of the matter is like, no, it actually exposes the fact that you've been covering it up this long.
Yeah, that too.
You've been covered. But if you had actually done the Omar Ward story, you could have connected the dots on why they were panicking. That's what we were talking about. We were like, why are they panicking? Because they knew these charges were coming.
Yeah.
They knew these charges were coming. And then the question becomes, but how did they know? How did they know the charges were coming? Oh, that's because they're in communication with SFPD. And SFPD is in communication with the feds. And the feds are getting ready to come down and get them.
Yes.
Right? That's what the panic was. And that is the reason why they started attacking us. And I'm saying that if they had, like, the reason why Omar did what he did is because we talk the way we talk.
Yep.
And we ask the questions that we ask. And he was trying to get you to silence yourself before these things came down. Okay. It could have been you who found it out. It could have been me who found it out. Right?
Yeah.
And that really is the reason why we got attacked.
Yeah. No, exactly. Because we're the ones actually standing up and saying, hey, wait a minute. And now people are like, oh, wait, they were saying it? Oh, my God. Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, it's funny to see the world catch up, you know?
True.
But what are we really? What is the Bay Area turning out to be? It's turning out to be the incubator for these heavy, these heavy right-wing tactics to get what they want, to force their way. I mean, it's truly with these recalls and what was happening here and what was happening in Virginia with the school board. And this is it. They're figuring out their strategies. They know they can do it. And now they've established that all they really need is all the money in the world and they can do this. But so much of it is creating a narrative and sustaining it and attacking anyone who defies the narrative.
Yeah, and also though, I want to really like emphasize that the thing is that when we started talking about things like tech fascism, the network state, and how it interplays with organizations like Grow SF, and when we started building with the Phoenix Project, and when we started saying these things seem to be interconnected. And at the time, when we first started talking about it, it was like 10 degrees of separation. Then it became 8. Then it became 6. Then it became 3. And then we got attacked.
Yep.
And now it's 1.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it makes me wonder if Tom Wolfe is the guy that brought in Ricci and Omar. I mean, again, this is speculation, people, but the guy was a drug addict on the streets for a long while. What have Ricci and Omar both been busted for?
Well, I mean, my thing is though,
drugs.
I don't think that Wolf would have had the finances to do what needed to be done. Right. I think
Schellenberger does.
Yeah, Schellenberger does, and Tan does too.
Yeah. And
Elon Musk does too.
Yeah.
I found out a couple of days ago that Elon Musk is a constant retweeter of Michelle Chandler. Oh. I had no idea.
Oh my
So
God.
so the thing is that the San Francisco AstroTurf Network, these doom loopers as we call them, right? They are in communication with Elon Musk, and
Yep.
there's absolutely no question about it.
Yep.
And so we have to start, and so apparatus that's larger than mine should be asking the question: what exactly is that connection? Why is Gary Tan invested in Oakland politics? He clearly is. Why is Elon Musk invested in Oakland politics? He clearly is. I have two pictures of both Thomas Hawk and Tom Wolfe endorsing Loren Taylor.
Yeah.
They live in San Francisco. What is your investment in San Francisco, in Oakland politics, to make you endorse somebody for mayor? You don't even live here.
Yeah.
So what is your investment?
Yeah.
I saw Susan Dyer Reynolds do the same thing, try to create a smear campaign against Barbara Lee. You don't live here.
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly. Because they all are getting, you got to do this. We need some help over here. There's just some toxic Slack channel out there in the world where all these people get their orders.
No, I'm talking about the money. I like to
that
know
too, though.
Where's the money coming from? Philip Dreyfus cannot afford to pay off an entire media apparatus the way that San Francisco's media apparatus and the Bay Area's media apparatus has been bought. He can't afford that. And Sam Singer does not have the power or influence to make all these people do the things that he's made them do without the money.
Well, yeah. Well, it's dark money, right? And
it's
this is something they've been developed for decades now. They perfected it.
The gap is open now. We have this fucking rapist.
Yeah.
And we have this domestic terrorist.
Yep.
We have taken two of your pawns.
Yes.
Right. And the thing is, there's a third pawn on the table I'm not even going to talk about yet, but he's about to get snatched too. He's about to get snatched too. But I'm not going to say his name, but he knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. And he's going to get snatched too.
Because he's been threatening staff of Barbara Lee.
That's right. And he's about to get it too.
Yeah.
He's about to get it too.
Deservedly.
Yeah, deservedly. And the thing is, like, okay, I'm just going to say his name because it's so funny. This motherfucker, he going to say, the Chronicle piece drops about Ricci. He hops on and he goes, "What a scumbag!" And somebody else hopped on immediately back to a tweet he did in 2023, calling the guy the man.
I love it.
So my question is why'd you feel compelled to call the guy scumbag? Nobody even had to know who you were, man. You could have just scrolled on past it.
Yeah.
Right, but no, you didn't. You came, what a scumbag. As it turns out, you've known the guy for years, and you think he's the man.
I mean, did he even have anything to say in response?
No, he tried But my thing is, though, is that like, no, you're affiliated with this thing that's actually criminal. This is criminal.
Yeah.
This is no longer some kind of like weird Twitter thing. You're getting these little Twitter spats and all that. Like, no, you took it into the streets.
Yep.
And the streets are responding.
Yes.
Right.
This is their Icarus moment.
Yes, it absolutely is. You flew you flew too close to the sun, and you also flew too close to the fucking streets, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like the reverse Icarus. You went down too far, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah. But I really would like. I mean, I would like to make a call for these journalists to understand that there's a lesson to be learned here.
Yeah.
You fell behind. You fell behind. Like, you are the San Francisco Chronicle, right? And you're being scooped by the Sacramento Bee.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, you are SF Gate, and you're being scooped by a bunch of blogs in Canada right now.
Yes.
Right? And why? Because you refuse to tell the story. You could have been on the ground floor of this story if you just would have told the truth.
Yeah, and let's be clear. K-Pix, my former employer. I still have connections there. They have all the information to do this stuff about Omar and everything else, and they haven't said a peep. They haven't done anything to defend or even note that their former employee has been harassed.
And that to me is just compromise, because the thing is like I said, if you had told the story of Omar, you might have been a little bit more cognizant of something going on within this particular AstroTurf network.
Yeah.
And if you would, and if you had been paying attention, to it, right? If you would have been paying attention to what was going on with Omar, you would have seen the connection between Omar and Ricci. And if you had been able to make that connection early on, right, then you would have been able to be at the forefront of a conversation that you're now falling behind in.
But that requires them to be good journalists.
But exactly. But that's the lesson. You guys look like a bunch of fools out on the national stage right now. You look like fools.
Yup.
Utter fucking fools. You mean to tell me that this guy's been going around doing these heinous shit all over the place, and instead you've been bigging them up in your newspaper? You look like fools. Utter fools.
Yeah, but I mean, what kills me though too is that they propped them up when they were doing the most heinous action of filming people and exploiting people when they're at their lowest. When they're truly, we're talking people that like, I mean, drug addiction is a disease. It's a problem. And they really were happy that people were going around catching these people in their worst moments.
I'm going to tell you something. Okay, a little story.
Okay,
please. I worked at City Lights Books for a long time. That's up in North Beach, and we have an alley in there between Vesuvio and the City Lights bookstore. It's called Jack Kerouac Alley.
Yeah,
and a lot of people use that as a safe space, like a place to sleep, a place to get away from things. It's got a really nice mosaic sidewalk. The alley itself is done in mosaic, which means it's also very smooth. Cool. And also they keep it very clean because it's a national landmark. So City Lights is a landmark. And so we'd have a lot of our houses people go and try to sleep there. It's a safe space. And it was kind of our jobs if we saw a motherfucker trying to take pictures of them.
Yeah.
Like that was one of our jobs.
Yeah.
You're at the window and you see a homeless person sitting there or laying there and somebody's out there with their camera, right? Which is like kind of like before smartphones. No, you ran out there, motherfucker, get out of here. Let that person sleep. Leave that person alone. Like the whole idea that the sense of decorum in the city has gotten to such a degree where people don't do that anymore is heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Like your so-called citizen journalists should be stopped by real citizens.
Yep.
When you see somebody trying to harass somebody with a camera on their phone, man, you're supposed to go out there and be like, motherfucker, get out of here. Yep. That's what your job is. That's your job. And so like, to me, I mean, I think that's something that maybe needs to come back. I mean, like San Francisco needs to be more cognizant of protecting people from this kind of invasion of privacy, which is the way we read it.
Yeah.
We read it as invasion of privacy. We didn't read it as like, stop trying to monetize this person's misery, right? It was just protect their privacy, respect their privacy.
Respect, they're having a hard time. Leave them be.
Leave them the fuck be.
But that's the thing. What has been the biggest goal of this campaign about homelessness that Ricci Wynne and Omar have been propagating, and then have been supported by people like Tom Wolfe and stuff? It's to dehumanize these people.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely, because that way too, when they succeed, then regular people don't see them as humans. We're even seeing this working in Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where there is an encampment that is having to move around, it's by the city hall, but it's also by the high school. And there's been one incident of a woman being sexually harassed, and it was, they reported on and everything. And now that whole encampment has been painted as a danger to the high school because of sexual harassment and sexual assault. I mean, that's what they do. And it's just like it's generalizations. It's painting with broad strokes for people that are in their worst moments of their lives. They do not matter, though. It does not matter to them, but hopefully we're going to see, not only with this pushback, as we see that the players helping this are bad, but we're also, hopefully that'll lead to, and this whole thing of dehumanizing these people needs to stop as well. But
I'm more focused on the fact that this is an entire criminal enterprise, and it needs to start being treated as a criminal enterprise. This is a criminal enterprise.
Great.
Right. Like the invasion of people's privacy, the invasion of people's personal property, the harassment, the domestic terrorism, the rape, the pornography, the child abuse, like all of these things are crimes.
Yes.
And somebody is paying these people to do these crimes.
Yes.
And that is a criminal enterprise. And I'm so glad the feds are involved now. Like, unfortunately, Trump's feds.
Yeah.
But I don't know how close we're going to get to Trump, actually. I mean, the only person that's really like a straight up, honest to God MAGA is Ricci himself. Like, that's the only one we know is walking around that dumbass hat. But even then, he's a small player. Like, you know, he's a real small player. So, I mean, like, no, I think the feds are going to do their job. And I think the feds are going to be the ones to connect these dots because they're so easy to connect.
Yeah.
They're so easy to connect. And the Chronicle could be instrumental if they'd been doing their fucking job.
Yeah. No.
And they weren't.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So, but no, this is a criminal enterprise. And I think that's the way it's being read. This is not like the thing that is tragic and at the same time encouraging is the minute that you find out about a child sex abuse ring, right? The minute you find out that there's somebody who is making child sex abuse,
yes,
right, and then intending to sell it to somebody else, the question becomes, who is he going to sell it to?
Yeah,
and that becomes a question of, and he's pandering. How many of the people they was pimping? How many of those were children as well? And what was his client list?
Yeah,
right. And because we have to find out the entirety of the network.
It's right? the new Epstein list, right?
Yes, it is. He is our San Francisco Epstein list. But even more than that, he's also going to pull in people who enabled it, even if they never partook. They enabled, right? Yep. Anybody who was connected to either the domestic terrorism or the child sex ring, right? You're going to get investigated.
Yes.
You're going to get investigated, and by the feds for a criminal enterprise. Let's make that clear. And Doomloop Dispatch, guess what? We're at the heart of it.
Yes. That's why you need to keep checking in, following us on all the socials. No, it is a good time to wrap up.
Yeah, dig that segue.
But yeah, no, I mean, exactly. Hopefully justice is served. Hopefully we see the end of this. Hopefully, yes, even though Ricci, I mean, in all kind of these criminal enterprises, it's, you know, the lower people are easy to be picked off and pushed out. You know, you see that all the time with drug dealing and that kind of thing. Also
easy to squeeze.
Yeah. But
easy to squeeze, though.
But hopefully, I mean, you know, this the same people that railed, you know, that supported Q and that whole thing. Hopefully they they'll be like, well, pedophilia is bad all around, and not, well, it's our guys doing it, so maybe it's okay.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is that like, as long as I think I'm going to continue to pursue this story because it's very important to me. It's important to me because it's about protecting not only Oakland and the Bay Area, but protecting my friends and my family.
Yes.
Right. So I'm going to stay on this one. I'm tenacious like a dog on a bone right now. I wake up in the morning doing my investigations, and I go to bed at night telling my wife about what I found. Oh, I'm that deep into this one, and the reason being is because I think we have to continue to get the truth out about it. Yes. And the more we get the truth out about it, the more they're going to have to calm down. You can't continue to escalate because you've been doing it in the shadows. So I'm going to keep the light on you.
Yes.
Like that's like, you know, right now that's the best way to keep everybody safe. Keep the light on them.
The greatest disinfectant is sunlight.
Is the light, right? Like they work in the shadows. Let's make sure they stay in the light.
Yeah, exactly.
That way they can't work.
Exactly. So seriously, people, keep sticking with us. We're gonna not give up on this story. We're gonna follow it to the end.
That's right.
We'll follow us on all the socials. We're on the Twitter. Please support our Patreon so we can pay our bills as we pursue this story. And as we always say,
keep fighting the good fight.
Yes. And we'll see you next week.